Welcome to CosmoFactory, a podcast by Cosmoprof Worldwide Bologna, where we explore the entire cosmetics, personal care, and fragrance industry supply chain. I'm your host, Deanna Utrusky, and here at CosmoFactory, we look beyond the trends to discover the ideas, initiatives, and innovations that are truly advancing beauty. Let's get started. This episode is about precision innovation in both the products sector and the ingredients sector. It's about mobilizing technology to bring transparency to the cosmetic ingredient supply chain. It's about automation, artificial intelligence, and a new era of creativity. On today's episode of the CosmoFactory podcast, I'm speaking with Karen Ho, co-founder and CEO of Gravel AI. Karen, welcome to CosmoFactory.
Thank you very much, Linda, for having me.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. I'm glad that you're here to talk about tech with me. There are, of course, some very well-regarded beauty ingredient makers and contract manufacturers that already know your company. But for listeners who have not heard about Gravel AI, can you tell us when you launched this platform and the basics of what it does?
Totally. We are a 2.5 years old industry intelligence platform for the personal care and beauty industry. We take the perspective of a single ingredient and take it through the entire value chain. We take an ingredient or multiple ingredients, and we can identify the sellers of the ingredients. We can identify which contract manufacturers are using these ingredients in what way, and we can identify the brands working with these contract manufacturers, and we can identify the fast-growing areas of growth for fastest-growing areas for these chemicals, ingredients, and we can identify all surrounding insights related to these beauty personal care ingredients.
Yeah, wonderful. And so then thinking about the use cases, who is your customer in general terms, and what are they doing with this platform?
Two types of customers: the sellers of ingredients and the buyers of ingredients. So the sellers, for example, an ingredient supplier, they can, for the first time in the industry, they can link the scientific claims of their ingredients to the success of the actual beauty product. For example, I'm a hair loss ingredient blend supplier, and I create ingredient blends that help people with hair thinning issues, hair thickening issues, then our engine can say, oh, these are the 2-3 scientific claims, and then the hair thinning claims come up in 40% of all positive reviews of the products that use these ingredients. So we can match the drivers of the success, the drivers of the positive reviews associated with a product with the scientific claims of a product. And it's not just for active ingredients manufacturers, it is also for like a polymer manufacturers. So if a polymer blend creates a certain texture, okay, it is very rich, it is very smooth. And then we mine the consumer reviews and identify the percentages of those very positive reviews that are linked to those scientific claims.
Yeah.
And we also identify the contract manufacturers that are working with different brands that use their ingredients so they can go to market really effectively. In the past, it was an opaque industry, so it is impossible prior to Gravel AI to know which brands are working with which manufacturers, but now you can sell effectively into the industry. Our customers are also brands and buy chemicals so they can identify the fastest growing trends in ingredients, which are the top surfactants or active ingredients used in hair care in the US that has certain marketing claims that it is a complete super granular industry and product ingredient trends platform for beauty brands, for NPD, and also marketing.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. That was a very well explained look at who your customers are. But as you suggested, much of this was opaque, right, in the past. So clearly, some of the information that you're making available really was invisible before a platform like yours existed. Can you help us think more about the positive impacts of this kind of visibility of information?
Absolutely. Actually, the entire industry is becoming more transparent. We are just one of the multiple forces that is making this happen.
Yes.
First of all, a lot of brands, they are going through this tariff turmoil.
Mhm.
They want to find contract manufacturers that are in different locations. And then one of the use cases is that they can use us to find contract manufacturers that are good at specific things that are in the US or in Europe. And the second is it can it actually enhances the success rate of future R&D products as well as ingredients. Because if you know how certain ingredients are used in the market and how successful new ingredient launches are and how successful the beauty product launches are, if you can link everything together, the R&D will be more successful.
Can you say more about that? Can you give me like a for instance?
Absolutely. One of the metrics we track is when a new product is launched, we track the success of the product using multiple proxies. So we aggregate the consumer reviews and all these social signals across different retailers and platforms. So it is not just tracking new product launches, we also track how successful these products are. And we decipher what ingredients and ingredients blends are used in these products, and we link it back to the suppliers. And we also display the contract manufacturers and brands in the middle. So if you are able to link the entire value chain, then suddenly you can see the linkages between your ingredient, how is that impacting the success of the product. And
Yeah.
lots of new products are launched in the market, but many of them fail. But if you are able to find the patterns in what is making what successful in what way, and then that is a huge value add to the industry.
No, absolutely. And it makes me think about the challenge that so many, especially new ingredient makers, have almost a desire to put their trade name on the consumer package in hopes that the consumer will start to request a very specific version of an ingredient that's available. And even without sort of revealing the trade name or using that through to the end consumer, your technology is in a way serving that purpose. It's creating a direct through line from consumer benefits, reviews, appreciation, if you will, to a particular ingredient maker, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so interesting. So I'm curious now, maybe to think about how accessible technology like yours is. I'm imagining it's, not not perfectly affordable for every brand in the market, but who can work with this kind of technology? Is it only major multinationals at this point, or is it a bit more accessible?
We had a customer conversation yesterday. They are from a UK-based manufacturer of chemicals. They said they actually stopped me in the middle of the demo and say, I have seen many platforms. So for platforms that have very accurate information like yours and super granular data, usually it's very expensive.
Yeah.
Actually, I told him the price. It is very accessible, and it is because now the world is also changing. So we are AI first company. So we only have a handful of employees here. Compared with the last generation industry intelligence companies where you need a lot of developers, you need a lot of industry professionals labeling each the data. So okay, someone needs to label, okay, this chemical is a surfactant, that chemical is an active. So it is a very different world now. So we're able to completely streamline our operation, and we bring a lot of value back to our customers. So we are
Yeah.
completely democratizing industry intelligence for this industry.
No, this is what people want from technology. Yeah, it's nice to hear we're moving in that direction. I'm curious to know too, when the sort of data-driven transparency at the level that you're describing, right? When does that start to threaten intellectual property or IP for suppliers? Are there limits in place? Do there need to be safeguards? Tell me about that aspect of this.
Oh. Actually, potentially in the future, it will be because of AI and because of the superpower of AI in terms of digesting and reasoning with data sets. In the future, around IP, so for example, if it will be possible, for example, on our product pipeline in the future, we are looking into patent intelligence actually. So in the future, for example, it will be very visible when a major ingredient supplier, some of the patents are expiring, and
Sure.
then would encourage other competitors or even their own customers to use similar technologies that used to be proprietary to them. So I think it will, at the same time, democratize the information and data space, but at the same time, it will become more visible who is filing what patents. For example, say R&D Innovation Center, what research patents have they filed? And then it becomes very visible to others who are tracking these aspects of things. So I think in that direction, there will be a lot of impact.
Yeah, no, it is so interesting to think about. And certainly that's, as you've said or suggested, perhaps all of this information is information that brands and suppliers have been looking for in the past, right? And the same is true with intellectual property and patent data. Uh, we certainly see folks, borrowing technologies or trying to create their own version of patented technologies, even without a platform like yours. It's interesting to think about how
Hmm.
things will evolve there.
I think it will accelerate it a lot. I think you can already do a lot of things today if you have a large team of people doing a lot of manual work and trying to maybe infringe other people's patents or just take other people's expired patents and experiment with those. But in the future with AI, it will be much, much, much faster and more competitive.
I think I've asked this of other folks in the AI space, but I do wonder if this opens up an opportunity or maybe encourages more creativity and innovation from brands and suppliers in an effort to really differentiate themselves in the market. Do you see that, or do you see it's more likely? We talked earlier about if a particular ingredient is really delivering benefits, is everyone going to want to use the same ingredient, or is there more space here for variety, I wonder?
This is an amazing point because actually this is the point I'm not sure whether it's all positive. So, for example, we were observing the ingredient trends in the market. 6 months ago, a high-end beauty brand launched a really, really expensive serum with a unique root extract in it.
Mhm.
Within weeks, our system already tracked lots of copycats or like similar products in the market
Sure.
with a lower concentration of the root extract and packaged in a different way. So I think the market is moving very, very fast. It is even faster than before. So in the old days, it takes 2 to 3 years to develop a new product. And in recent times, it takes several months with the testing, with the validation. And nowadays, I think you can create a new product that are similar to an existing product in weeks.
Mhm.
I'm not sure this is always positive because it takes a lot of R&D and effort to create
Mhm.
something innovative and successful.
Mhm.
And I think this is something the brands and the contract manufacturers, ingredient manufacturers have to work with.
Mhm. No, and to be fair, there have always been, again, those activities going on as well in our industry. It's not the technology, it's the it's the people who choose to use it in various ways. But let's think about some of the positive advantages here as well. I would like to think that an AI platform like this can actually help build trust throughout the industry value chain. I'm wondering if you're hearing about any interesting changes in that way. Do you see companies finding new ways to collaborate or such because of this kind of technology?
Absolutely. Because the industry is becoming more and more transparent. And if a company creates a very successful product, no matter it is a beauty product or if they created a fast-growing brand, so suddenly, because we track the geographical reach of brands and products, suddenly this is a upshot, and suddenly they are gaining lots of shares in different platforms. And then and also for ingredient suppliers and manufacturers, they come up, they spend a lot of effort in creating a very effective new ingredient, and then suddenly it takes off. So by making the industry transparent, these success stories would attract a lot of partners and new customers. So it actually encourages new collaborations between teams. And then because people want to do new things that are more better and better compared to the old things. So I'm seeing a lot of positive things coming out of these making success stories known.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no, that's interesting to think about partnership opportunities coming. I mean, it makes good sense, but yeah, that's very cool. I do want to, I'm starting to ask some of our guests a little bit about the behind the scenes at their companies, and I definitely want to hear a little bit about the tech you're using in-house. But before I do that, I just want to give you the chance. Is there anything else you think that ingredient makers or contract manufacturers or brands should know about this kind of AI platform? Is there something I didn't ask you?
Maybe our upcoming roadmap, but that is a separate story.
Yeah, if there's something in the future that we might be watching for, that would be helpful.
For example, we are launching a private dashboard feature, which is a completely confidential and private feature for ingredient manufacturers to upload their ingredient portfolio so that they can have a bird eye view of the entire market demand and dynamics of their ingredients. So who is buying what, where, which area is growing, which new applications are using an old ingredient, and then we are creating a lot of new things such as patent intelligence later this year, and new features such as allowing people to search for certain aspects of a beauty product in consumer reviews. So if you want to analyze the difference between any customer feedbacks on synthetic fragrance versus natural fragrance, such as seed oil or different botanic oils, then you can really easily mine the data using AI.
No, that's helpful. Thank you for that. So as I suggested, not every company in the cosmetics and personal care industry is necessarily an early adopter when it comes to new digital technologies. But certainly a company like yours is very future forward. And I do want to help think about your approach to technology. I am still learning about AI, of course, but it seems to me that you're working very heavily with what we might think of as predictive AI, the sort of data-based forecast technology. But I'm wondering about some of these other types of artificial intelligence, like cognitive AI that, as I understand it, stimulates human thought, intuitive AI that can kind of infer meaning, or even other kinds of AI. Can you tell me what's going on in terms of AI at Gravel AI?
Okay, so actually at the company level, a lot of our code is written by AI. So 70% of our company code is written by AI. So this is really significant. This is one of the major reasons why we can democratize industry intelligence at a lowish cost. From data collection to building the data pipeline to data ingestion and the synthesis of the data, and then creating the interactive experiences that our customers see. 70% or more of the code is written by AI right now.
Yeah, and if something is like written or created, that's generative AI. That's a different. Okay.
Generated by AI, yes.
Yeah.
And at the same time, on the commercial side and on the operations side, we use AI agents internally. So a lot of the key tasks from account management to some of the customer success, and also when people book demo and sometimes our customers wonder how I can respond so quickly. Within 2 seconds, I already say, okay, I look forward to meeting you. And there are multiple interactions that we have automated at a company level.
I'm a little jealous. My email could use some help like that. Um, yeah, and I ask these questions to help companies really start to think about the practical applications and why, they might, also bring in technologies like this and how it can maybe free up time for their team in other ways. Are there any other notes you would have about, companies considering automation technologies or AI technologies like this?
Mm. Um, I have a in thought.
Yeah.
In order to automate, I think we need to identify certain key workflows that can be standardized. So once we have standardized those workflows, and there are many different tools, so you can combine those tools to automate each step of the workflows. But the standardization in the beginning is very important.
No, that makes good sense. This is all very helpful to know. I do want to mention for our listeners, if they're especially curious about AI in beauty, you can go ahead and scroll back through some previous episodes from the Cosmo Factory. I have interviews there with Vision, a company that uses AI for quality control in manufacturing. I spoke with Cambrium, where they're using AI for ingredient development. Potion AI is a platform that helps with product formulation support. Perfect Corp, I spoke with as well. They bring AI tech for consumer engagement. Of course, all of these conversations are available in the Cosmo Factory archive. And now Gravel AI is on that list as well. Karen, you have so much enthusiasm about what new digital tech can do for our industry. I thank you so much for being a guest on the Cosmo Factory podcast.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for listening. If you find the Cosmo Factory podcast useful, please take a moment to leave us a 5-star review and share your thoughts so even more cosmetic industry professionals can discover the Cosmo Factory. I'm Deanna Utrusky. Please join me again next Tuesday for a new episode of the Cosmo Factory podcast.